Hey you guys, so we are in Photopea today and we are doing basic curves adjustments to even out this image. So as I spoke in class, I took this picture and exposed for the sky so we could get all the cool details of the clouds and the highs and lows and then the blues peeking through. Well, when you do that, you tend to have a darker background or the bottom part of your image. So I'm going to show you guys how to fix that really fast. So the very first thing that we're going to do is a curves adjustment layer. So over here to the yin and yang moon, or the circle that is cut in half, you're going to click that. This is going to give us every single type of situation that we can actually use to edit. So you could play around with this just to get to know them if you would like to. What we are going to do is use a curves adjustment. So go ahead and click curves. It is going to create a new layer listed here, and it's going to have this panel. This panel is going to show you the highs, the highlights, the lowlights, and the midtones. So up here at the top, this is going to be reflective of your whites and your highlights. Down here at the bottom is your shadows and your blacks. And then here in the middle is going to be your midtones. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to quickly show you guys how to adjust to get the bottom part to look the way that we want it to look. So you're going to put an anchor into the middle by just clicking into the middle. And then you're going to click that and you're going to drag this anchor up until you like what you see on the bottom part of your image. Do not worry about your sky because we're going to actually just paint it onto the areas that we want it. Okay, so that's about where I'm going to stop for mine. And then because I want to see how this whole image looks, I'm going to click the properties button to get rid of that. So it will hide it. And I think that the bottom part looks pretty good. The sky does not look how I want it. So I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do with that. So you need to click over here on your curves adjustment, the white layer mask. We're going to click that, make sure that the box is around it. So you should have two layers, your background and this curves one. If you do not have those two layers and it does not look like this, you need to exit and start over. Okay, so here's this one. Now on our keyboard, we're going to click the buttons Command and the I. That is going to invert our layer. So now it's done the exact opposite. It's hidden what we did, and we need to be able to put the information that we want it to back into the bottom. So how we're going to do that? Over here, you're going to have your color swatches. We are working on a black layer, so we need a white brush. So if these are colored, you can always click the little squares here and click the right color. So now we have a white swatch on top, which is what we need. If they are flip-flopped and the black is on top, just use the arrows and click it. You're going to go up to your brush. You're going to click it, make sure it's selected. And then I am going to show you guys up here what this stuff does. So when you look at your brush, this is going to be your size of your brush. So if you want a big brush, which is probably going to happen on this one, you go all the way over. If you want a small brush, adjust it that way. What hardness does is this. If you have an extremely hard brush, it's going to be sharp around the edges. So it'll be like an exact circle. So if I were to go in the cloud and show you, you click it and it is going to make a complete circle. So it kind of looks like a moon, but you get the point. We don't want to do that. That would look super unrealistic. So if you did that with me, you can click Command Z to get rid of it. All right, so that is what 100% hardness looks like. If you do 100% or 0% hardness in the same spot, your brush is going to get smaller because it is going to like basically feather the actual part out of the brush to make it look more natural. So the same exact thing, you can see it barely does anything and it looks extremely natural. So I'm going to Command Z again on that. So for us to get the look that we are wanting, we're going to put our hardness right in the middle. You can click in the box and type 50, click enter. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to get rid of that by just clicking it again. I'm going to come down here to the bottom part and we're going to paint on that light. So you paint it on by just clicking your mouse and painting. Now, stop what you're doing really fast and pay attention to what I'm gonna do next, okay? So when you get close to the edges up here, if I were to be like, oh, I wanna do this perfect, and I put my brush like right there because it's gonna cover those bushes, if you click that, then what it does is it takes it into the sky. Let me zoom in and show you. So you can see the sky is actually highlighted too, which we don't want to do. So instead, if you go down here and you click it, it's going to push it up there for you. So that will help you to get the lighting the way that you want it. So just kind of go to the edges of it. So go ahead and finish yours. I'm going to finish mine. You guys can pause the tutorial if you guys need some extra time to do this. And then when I go to the edges of the bushes and trees, I'm gonna put my hardness to 0. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna make it look much more natural than having the edges be one way, either too light or too dark. So we're gonna just click on these little things to brighten them up. And then I'm gonna click off of the page to brighten that last little spot. Okay, so now we have this picture and the bottom part is pretty bright. Now, how we're gonna do the cactus, we're gonna zoom in with Command and the plus sign. We are going to have our hardness be at 50% again. So go back to your brush, select 50, hit enter. And then your brush, you're gonna want it to be smaller than the cactus. So if I were to come here, this is what you would want. You want the full circle to fit inside. You don't want it to be perfect. So like, say for instance, I chose this brush. If I did that and I clicked it, it's still gonna kind of filter outside of the cactus. And I don't want that because you want it to look a little bit more realistic, okay? So keep your brush size smaller and remember that because we have 50% hardness, it is going to like expand outside of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, I didn't mean to click that, but that's okay. I'll get there. So I'm going to start at the top. You can do it one of two ways, just clicking circle after circle, or you can click and drag. Now, if you click and drag, just know that like if you're taking your time and then like something bumps you and you like go outside of the edit, it's going to delete the whole thing when you go back on your history. So just be careful when you're doing it this way that you, take time to like stop in between and let the program catch up. So just continue to do your cactus. You can fast forward me if you don't want to watch this, if you guys are ready to move forward. And I'm not going to make mine perfect for the sake of time, okay? So I'm just gonna go here. And then like at the tops of the cactus, you just wanna make your brush smaller and go in and paint. Okay, so, all right. And I just made a blunder right there at the end. So just gonna do nothing crazy. I could spend a lot more time on this, but I'm not going to for the sake of your guys' time. All right, so then we're gonna zoom out and we can see how much brighter it is by going over here to your curves. And if you click the eyeball off and on, you can see that now you can see the sky and you can see the actual details a little bit better. So the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my curves or to my adjustment layer and I'm gonna go back up and we're gonna do an overall curves adjustment. So click that. And because I still feel like it's a touch dark, you're just gonna click in the middle and pull up until you like the whole image the way that it looks. So it's kind of subtle. So if you click it off and on, you can see now the end product of the picture, okay? So those are the tools for curves and how to do a curves adjustment. I will show you guys some much more in detail stuff in the tutorial on Monday. So that is all for today. How you save, you go File, we go down to export as a JPEG. And then, if my computer will load, there we go. Go to Quality 100 and click Save. And you are finished. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out and message me.